So walk me through the actual business. I get the concept. We've been going concept and wide, and we're now sort of getting in this discussion in our third segment here. How do you price it?
Yeah, priced. So it's a SaaS business. 100% of the revenues are SaaS reoccurring. We're unique for a SaaS business in that individuals own their data. And what that enables is part of our vision for lifelong learning. So even though it's an enterprise SaaS business model, when you leave, you get to take your profile and your data with you to your next employer. Brilliant. And what that's enabled, and we'll come back to the economics on it, but what that enables is we've been very disciplined, and all of our clients, we've kept them using the same standard of language for skills and skill measurement. So what that means is, for the first time in the world, if you're at HSBC, or if you're at Citibank, or if you're at Bank of America, and you leave and you go to a Visa or a MasterCard, or you go to USAA, you go to Prudential, or being a level 4 in international tax now means the same thing at all of those institutions. And people get to take their data and their profile and essentially their skills record, their skill profile with them. And anywhere that's using Degreed, it holds universal meaning and universal context.
And what's particularly brilliant about that, you gave the perspective of the individual and how amazing that is. Hey, I'm going to this new company. I send them my link on Degreed. If they do not have Degreed, they say, what's Degreed? And then it is making your product viral. So now they say, oh, maybe we should have Degreed. And when they take that job there, I'm assuming they add that they now work at this new company. And now your sales department in the SaaS department now knows who to call to infect the new company with Degreed, correct? Just like Salesforce sort of infected every company as they went along. But this is even more viral.
If you think about, when we need to work with people, where they've worked matters, their experience, who they are, who they know, and what they know, or what their skills are. All of those things do matter. And the resume in LinkedIn has historically really been about who do you know?
Yep.
And what your experiences are.
Yep.
And, really Degreed, by going in and serving enterprise and being the giving an organization transparency into what skills everyone inside their organization has now become the system of record for some of the world's largest organizations. We're coming up on half of the Fortune 200. We're somewhere between a third and half of the world's largest organizations use Degreed enterprise-wide, top to bottom, top of the organization, all the way down. And so for the first time ever, organizations are able to ask and answer the question, what skills do we have? What skills do we need? And how do we, get to where we need to go? And so as simple as that sounds, CEOs couldn't do that, 2, 3, 4 years ago.
And it is a real benefit when a young person, or even an older person, but particularly young people, come to an organization and you say to them, hey, we're going to give you $5,000 towards like night school. I remember that was like a big thing when we were coming up in the 90s, like, will they pay for my master's or continuing education? They would, different places had different stipends, $1,000, unlimited, whatever. In your case, this is a real benefit because, a benefit in terms of like healthcare, dental, education, is continuing education is a benefit. It should be considered as such by the employee, correct?
Yeah, and one of the ways we've really reoriented the conversation is that corporate training was historically all about governance and compliance. And so it never felt like you were investing in me, the person. It always felt like you were asking me to go learn something to cover your ass. And, we've switched that paradigm. This is now lifelong. I get to take this record with me, and I get to see all of the resources that the company is making available to me. And we've really reoriented it around your development as an employee rather than the company's sort of compliance and governance and requisite needs. So it's really employee driven.
Got it. How do you charge? You charge by course, by employee? Is it $5 a month per active user, like sort of like the Slack model where you only charge for active people? Because I could see that being a roadblock. You go into an organization with 10,000 people, only 100 people use the product. People don't want to pay $60 a year for 10,000. They want to pay $60 a year for those 100 people who used it. How do you charge?
We charge per employee per year, and we charge for everyone in the organization.
How much?
Yeah, tens of dollars per person per year.
Okay, so I guess $60 a person a year. Does that mean if they have to use it, if they don't use it, do you still have to pay, or is it only per active user?
It's for all employees.
Oh, okay.
Our clients pay for everyone to use it, whether or not they ever log in. We have very high degrees of activation and engagement.
Got it.
That's some of our clients, we're seeing this whole refocusing on the employee changes everything. Some of our clients, they were seeing around non-compliance learning, they were seeing less than 10% of the organization engage annually. And now a majority of our clients will see more than half of the organization engage in non-compliance learning monthly. And if you do that math, I mean, that's orders of magnitude.
Yeah. The HR department must be...
We've been able to drive in terms of engagement.
The HR and the learning, the development groups must be over the moon with this. What are the most popular courses and who creates the courses?
Yes. So we bring the ecosystem together. Articles, videos, books, podcasts, courses, MOOCs, e-learning, conferences, events. We are not the training provider and we do not develop the content. We are just bringing it all together so that it is organized in one place. You can search by topic. You can go for JavaScript and see what courses your organization has that they've developed. You can see all of the vendors, a Pluralsight, a LinkedIn Learning, a Udemy. You can see all of the courses that they've purchased and made available to you, as well as you can just see every course on JavaScript out there, full stop, and see if there's one that is outside of your company's vendors that you would prefer to take. And so we just bring it all together in one place. So
if the CEO comes in one day and she says, you know what, everybody in this goddamn organization needs to read, Good to Great or Crossing the Chasm, whatever it is, or Creativity Inc., even better, Creativity Inc. Mm-hmm. They could say, listen, there's a master class on Creativity Inc. and there's the book for Creativity Inc. I want to see exactly how many team members I can get to read this because I think Creativity Inc. is essential. And there's a podcast where Jay Cal on This Week in Startups did 2 episodes. Yeah, I'm talking about myself in the third person. It's a 2-parter. She could then just say to the organization, I think this is important that people watch these podcasts, read the book, do the masterclass. And you could then check off, hey, they understand creativity in the organization.
That is true. And I'll tell you further, is just creating that transparency, being able to see inside an organization what your CEO is learning is really powerful. And, they may or may not ever choose to go and tweet, I just finished this book and I really enjoyed it. But with Degreed inside the organization, I'm able to follow leaders. I'm able to follow my mentors, my manager. I'm able to see what they're learning. People are able to see what I'm learning. And just creating that transparency is really powerful. Yeah, a CEO reads an article and logs it on Degreed, and all of a sudden, everyone inside the organization will have read it a week later.